Ancient stone monuments may have been used for mysterious moonlight ceremonies, say archaeologists. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome back to the channel. New information, or at least new speculation, about Stonehenge and other great Neolithic stone sites. And this really is fascinating information. And to me, it's almost a no-brainer. But here is Stonehenge, of course. And it's during the summer solstice. And this is coming from the science pages of the Telegraph in the UK by Sarah Knapton, science editor. Ancient stone monuments have been used for mysterious nighttime ceremonies, perhaps. Archaeologists now believe, after finding carvings on the rocks that are apparent only in moonlight or very low sunlight coming from the southeast, as we will read. Now, traditionally, Neolithic structures were all believed to align with movements of the sun, with the huge Wiltshire circle of Stonehenge lining up perfectly with the summer solstice. But new and emerging discoveries suggest that there may have been more fun at these places after the sun went down. And in fact, some of these places seem to have reserved and kept their secrets until the darkness did fall. New investigations of the Stonehenge engraved panel, the Hendraburnick, I know I'm going to butcher this, Qua, in Cornwall by Dr. Andy Jones, found nearly 10 times the number of markings when viewed in moonlight as when viewed in direct sunlight. Think about that. They looked at this thing in moonlight and they were able to discern 10 times more markings. Now, that's almost counterintuitive. You think more light, you could see more markings, but these ancients were crafty folks. And Dr. Jones, not Indiana Jones, but Dr. Andy Jones, that's pretty, I wonder, that's almost funny, huh? Andy, Dr. Jones, found nearly 10 times the number of markings when they were viewed in moonlight or very low sunlight. They also discovered this, which is fascinating. Pieces of quartz had been intentionally, deliberately smashed up and placed around the site, and these smashed up quartzes would have glowed in the dark under moonlight or firelight and cast a gentle luminescence. So you can kind of get the idea of what these ancient folks were trying to do. And this is the Hendraburnick Qua. I'm probably saying that wrong. And this, they believe this was dragged up from the valley. We'll get to this later. But Dr. Jones, and he is of the Cornwall Archaeological Unit, said that he thinks the new marks show that the site was used at night, and likely other megalithic sites were as well. So seeing those new marks here at, what's this place called again? Boop. Hendraburnick, and then also seeing more marks on Stonehenge, this doctor now believes that some of these other megalithic sites, and it'll be interesting as they continue to study this, were also used at night. We were aware of some cup and ring marks on these rocks. The Hendraburnick ones, is that right? Did I say that right? Hendraburnick. But under moonlight, we saw more and more art, which suggested that it was meant to be seen at night and in the moonlight. And when you think about the quartz rocks smashed around, which would have caused flashes and luminescence, suddenly you see that these images would have emerged out of the dark. Stonehenge does have markings, and I think that many more would be found at sites across the country if people were to look at them in different light, and I'm sure after this people will. Now here is another look at that Hendraburnick stone, and according to this archaeologist who's on site, you can see some of the cut marks and stuff. Taking pictures of this at night makes more of these markings that have been on this stone for thousands of years show up. I find this absolutely fascinating. Maybe it's my archaeological study And again, I'm a junior archaeologist at best. I have 2 years of archaeology. Actually, I have 2 years of anthropology, so maybe it's just because I've seen too many movies. But Hendraburnick is a large propped axe-shaped stone that was set upon a low platform of slates on Hendraburnick Down near Davidstow. And Dr. Jones believes it was dragged up from the valley below to act as a ritual marker for a sacred site in the late Neolithic, early Bronze Age around 2500 BC. So he thinks they dragged this thing up from the valley, propped it up, and it marked a ritual site. Very, very interesting. Now, the previous studies had recorded 13 cut marks on the rocks, but Dr. Jones and his colleague Thomas Goskar found 105 additional engravings when they started to look under new light. And these findings make it the most highly decorated and complex example of rock art in southern England. Now, writing the archaeology journal Time and Mine, Dr. Jones and Goskar conclude, as in many cultures where darkness is associated with the supernatural and the heightening of the senses, it is possible that some activities at Hendraburnick may have been undertaken at night. Quartz does have luminescent properties and reflects both moonlight and firelight, and given that the human eye perceives color and shade quite differently at night than by day, the art would have been visible in moonlit conditions. The smashed quartz could have been used as part of the nighttime activity on the site in order to release the luminescent properties of the quartz around the monument and reveal the art in a particular way. Again, fascinating stuff. Here's another picture of the monument. And after the ritual, the broken pieces, once they'd fallen on the ground, would have effectively formed a wider platform or arc, which would have continued to glisten around it in the moonlight, and thereby adding to the aura, if you will, of the site. This is very interesting artwork, isn't it? It almost looks celestial to my untrained eye. Very, very interesting stuff. And to see that a lot of it comes out at night, it may open up a whole new chapter in archaeology, huh? And lead to a lot of overtime being charged to archaeological departments. Smashed up quartz pieces discovered at the early Bronze Age cairn at Alcoti near Calanes on the Isle of Lewis are thought to be linked with funerary and lunar rites. I know I'm butchering the hell out of these words. I'm sorry about that. This new research was recently published in the archaeology journal Time and Mind. Very, very interesting. I just wonder if there's any good comments. Nope, just a lot of silly ads. So let's just recap. We all know about Stonehenge, and we know that it is aligned perfectly with the summer solstice, but new discoveries suggest that Stonehenge and many other sites, such as the Hendraburnick stone, may in fact have been used for rituals at night and may contain carvings, markings that are designed to best be viewed and may in fact be quite invisible during the daytime. And of course, the human proclivity to identify the night with the supernatural and the unknown may be based in some rational thought, or people with rational thought base their ideas around these human proclivities. You can see the somewhat celestial looking markings here as well. Very interesting stuff. It kind of changes the way we think about megaliths and about stone architecture. So, never allow yourself to be drawn into one school of thinking or one line of thinking, because there's always something new to learn. Ancient stone monuments may have been used for mysterious moonlight ceremonies. Now say, archaeologists. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Thought that was very interesting. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And we'll be back with more information later on today. And we do have the I Am Divine, I Am Sovereign, I Am Free t-shirt now available. In the box below, you can click for the link. Keep being excellent to each other. Keep unwinding your mind. Keep unindoctrinating yourself.